So in 6th grade, I ran track and field. I still don't know why I ran track because I was chubby and out of shape, but I must have thought it was a good idea at the time. I didn't have many friends either because, again, I wasn't very sporty, so I was usually alone. Except for this boy who'd just moved to town. He was funny, he was cute, and he had a British accent which made all the girls fawn over him. This boy took a special liking to me. Maybe he noticed I was alone. Maybe he noticed I was vulnerable. He didn't speak to me much until one day he yelled at me, "You run like a middle-aged woman." Then he smiled and kept running. I laughed too because I thought it was just teasing, something that friends do, even though he and I were not friends. I just let it go. This continued for months, each day a little more malicious than the last. He called me weird because I watched cartoons. He called me a lesbian because I never kissed a boy. He bashed my looks because I didn't wear makeup. Any little thing that made me insecure, he somehow discovered and exploited. I wanted to stop it, but I thought, I'm in too deep. I'd been letting it go on for so long, I couldn't just decide now that I didn't like it. When I told a teacher, she assumed he was just playing. But I think she just wanted me to stop talking about it. They didn't want to see that boy as a bully, and they especially didn't want to see me as a victim. It was really hard because it seemed like no one wanted to listen to my story. Like, I wasn't asking for that much, you know? I just wanted to get it out, talk about it, have a conversation with someone who cared.
Nerd. Loser.
You're fat. Can't you take a joke?
Weirdo.
You're such a
Try hard.
It'll never work. Fat. Can't you
Idiot.
take
Nobody
a joke?
likes
Weirdo.
weirdo.
Why
Try
don't you just
hard.
kill yourself?
Okay, my name's Hannah Kaplan, and I'm in 5th grade.
I'm Sierra, but I like to go by Sierra Grace, and I am in 5th grade as well.
And we're best friends.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
So I'm Jack Byrne, and I'm a senior.
I'm Ava Friedman and I'm 5th grade.
My name is Diego Consalvi and I am in 7th grade.
I'm Amanda Rossi and I'm in 8th grade.
I'm Emma Palatnik. I'm a senior at New Trier.
I'm Jason Glassman. I'm one of the school social workers here.
So I'm Hannah Zimmerman and I'm the assistant director at Glencoe Youth Services.
I'm Solia Quinn and I'm in 8th grade.
I was a bystander.
I was an ally and I was a victim.
I was a victim and I also was an ally.
An ally.
Bystander. A ally. A victim.
I was a victim.
Victim.
Bystander.
Bully.
I was a bully. Not particularly proud of it, and it's behind me, but yeah, it happened.
What is a stigma?
A what?
A stigma. You know what a stigma is?
No. I don't.
No, I don't.
No.
No.
Well, a stigma is a negative connotation about something. So, for instance, there's a stigma about mental illness. People don't like to talk about it because it makes them feel uncomfortable, and it's very controversial.
So like gay rights too.
Yeah. So knowing that, do you feel like there might be like a stigma behind talking about bullying?
Depends on the person. So like some people may have like stigmas against bullying because they've had harder experiences with it. More than they've been a bully, they've been like more victimized. But some people don't like mind talking about it because maybe they've never experienced it before, or they just don't like care.
I think there's a stigma. I think bullying has become this large umbrella sort of conversation where there's, like as I was explaining before, a lot of different things that go on with it. Some of it is bullying, some of it isn't. There's definitely this stigma. Nobody wants to be labeled a bully. Like schools don't want to be told that they have a bullying problem.
We don't really refer to it as bullying. I think you talk about it like, oh, my friend talked about me behind my back, like I can't believe she did that, or oh my gosh, like this kid like told someone my secret or something like that. It's never like they bully me, they bully her, they bully him. It's always they were just mean. We never call it bullying.
Yeah, I just
like
feel
in
like
every classroom, there's at least like one sign that says like, this is a bully-free, what is it? A bully-free no zone or something?
a bully-free zone, I think. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Do you think that helps?
Honestly, I mean, it's when I read a book, I just think, oh, these are just words on a page. I mean, I don't bully, but I think it's some kids aren't going to just listen to words.
We do have a no bullying policy here. If someone is bullying someone, we will bring the bully aside and talk to them about it. Like, why are they upset? Why are they talking to the person like that? Like, maybe there's something that is bothering them about the person, and that's why they're engaging in these bullying like activities. And then we'll also talk to the bully. We usually try to separate them and talk to them. Based on severity, we decide if a parent should get involved, and we have gotten parents involved before.
Mostly people don't talk about bullying because many times it's not that common, or at least we really don't know how often it happens because people continue to hide it, and maybe it's just out of fear. Like, if they tell someone, will I like get in trouble, or will it be embarrassing or something like that? It'd be pretty hard to like, break out of that stage of, okay, well, I need to talk to someone, like, especially if that's not your regular mindset. One kid at my old school, other kids, they made fun of him, no one else played with him, and so I ended up being like the one person who actually kind of cared. I had to switch schools, partly because no one really ended up like being my actual friend. It was really just like this thing where I didn't get included, and kind of started with like one incident of me being like bullied at this one party that my friend had, where I got really mad because people were like throwing stuff at me. And so I kind of didn't really get invited to their house like another time, and I wasn't seen as their friend, and it's kind of like an emotional moment because I still like thought many of them were my friends, and so but they just didn't care about me or what I said or anything like that, and they never did anything like particularly mean, like push me over or anything like that. It's just that they didn't include me, or they didn't really want me there. And so I kind of had to accept that fact, but I didn't want to. It was always because I befriended the kid who everyone else hated, and I knew that one kid needed help, and I was his only friend.
So in middle school, there's this one memory that I have that I probably will never forget. So it was like in the spring of 7th grade. I had these, I think it was 4 friends, and we were gonna go hang out in our friend's garage, like her garage above the attic, attic above the garage. And I was really excited. It was gonna be really fun, but there's this one girl who I wasn't friends with, so we were gonna hang out, and there's gonna be a bunch of us. I was excited because there are gonna be some boys there, and I was like, oh, like boys. Like, I didn't really have that many guy friends, and I was ready. 9th period, this boy who was gonna be there said, oh, well, this girl wants me to tell you that you can't come because this other girl doesn't want you there. And I was like, are you kidding me? This is not okay. Like, and of course, I'm 13. Like, I'm very emotionally unstable, and I'm like really upset about this, and I thought about it all throughout 9th period, and I couldn't focus. And then I exited, and I went to go to my locker, and I called my mom, and I started crying because I was really upset, of course. Like, it seems now like something so small, but it was just unacceptable that they said, you can't come anymore. Like, what the heck? Like, what the hell? Like, that's not okay. And and you can tell that it really bothered me because I still remember it. And that's how you know if something really affected you, because it still is in the back of my mind, and I still clearly remember.
I've been called names in person by people who like when I'm in like school sometimes, just like I've been called names, like bad names, and then cyberbullied. Yeah, like I've been cyberbullied indirectly, but one time I was cyberbullied directly. I was in this like group chat, and it was also, like, this was last year, and like had a group of friends, and like the boys in that old friend group, they all like bullied me there, and then the girls were bystanders, and they were like, ooh, this is heating up, and like they didn't care. They thought it was all a joke. And then like I tried like stick up for myself, saying like stop, and then like, you know, just like fight back.
And then you mentioned experiences.
Being a bully? Yeah. Well, like, so like me and my friends, we didn't like this girl, so like all three of us, like we'd always like talk about her and everything in a bad way. And like one day, like I was on my friend's phone, and I like Snapchatted that girl through her, saying like mean things and everything. She didn't do anything about it, but you know, yeah, that's like the only experience I've been a bully in.
So I moved to Glencoe in 2nd grade from the city, and really artistic school. My parents are really open with being, you know, who you are. You don't want to ever shy away from who you are. And so I came here unconventional as it was, but I came here, you know, and in this town it's really quite, you have to be a certain way, you have to act a certain way, you have to look a certain way to fit in. And I didn't, so they went after me extremely bad. All of 2nd grade, I was, you know, dealing with, I want to be friends with these girls, but I don't because they're being mean to me. But I don't have any other friends, you know, because pretty much all the girls were being mean to me, and boys too at the same time. But a couple of moments really stick out to me, and this is just 2nd grade. The bullying continued throughout into 5th and 6th grade, but a couple moments. One moment was I had just gotten finished doing antibiotics for an earache. It was really bad, and I was super sound sensitive, and the word had gotten out that I was really sound sensitive, and a group of people, boys and girls, when I was leaving to recess, I was walking fine. I was just getting out to recess, and they went and they screamed extremely loud in my ear, and I burst out crying. I ran away. So that was one moment that I remember.
I don't have a sob story. I don't. I was an immature middle schooler, an immature freshman in high school, and probably around sophomore year, I just kind of realized, if you're not an asshole to people, or if you're not a bully, your life's gonna be a lot easier. I mean, it wasn't like I hated people, it was just, I don't know. Just, I don't like you for this particular reason. I'm going to make sure that you know it. General just negativity about everything, because when someone's a bully, it's not like they legitimately hate their victims or whatever, because they probably don't. They probably got something going on at home. In my case, it wasn't anything really. I was just kind of mad that I was in school, because I surprisingly, like most people, don't really enjoy school, and I guess I kind of took that out on some other kids, and yeah, not exactly my proudest moment. I'm not gonna say I was like, give me your lunch money, but yeah, I was just being mean, right?
At my old school, it's actually the reason why I moved here is because I was the only redhead, and people would say I was stupid and I didn't know anything, and they would always bully me and tease me, and then somebody one day punched me and said, "You're a redhead, you don't deserve to be here." And I felt really bad, and so we changed schools.
You said this happened. Did this happen last year?
No, I moved here when I was about 9, so it happened when I was 7, from when I was 3 to when I was 7. It's actually been a recent problem for my friend Maya. She's been being bullied by this person on social media and in real life. The person says to her, if you're not my friend, nobody else will like you because everybody hates you and they're only friends with you because you're friends with me. And on social media, there's one day she unfollows her on everything, and then she follows her back, and she's like, "I hate you, but I'm just gonna say hi to you at school so everybody starts to like you again." And she's like, you're not even a person on this earth. Nobody likes you. And she goes home crying every day because of it.
And you're in 5th grade?
Yeah.
I would say, you know, growing up, I'd say I was a bystander. You know, I didn't have a lot of friends in school, but I never was the target. But, you know, I think I grew into an ally with maturity. I think that it's kind of a self-esteem thing. I think that I was a bystander for all those years because, you know, I didn't have anyone to have my back, and I just felt like if I said something, I would be the next target. But, you know, I think that it does get better, and that with age, a lot of the times people mature and they gain self-esteem and they get strong enough to stand up against bullying.
There's a whole series about the cycle of the victim becomes the bully, becomes the victim, becomes the bully. Vicious cycle is, I guess, how you describe it. So, like, I mean, mostly, you know, you get picked on for your appearance, right? What is the teacher going to do about your appearance? What could they do? Like, oh, Miss X, Bobby called me fat. What are you going to do? So in my case, I'd say in elementary school, I was picked on for my appearance. You know, I wasn't like, you know, overweight. I wasn't fat or anything. I was just chubby and not that smart and immature. And then that became me being mean to other kids, and you know, so on and so forth. But teachers really can't do anything. The only way you can resolve it is between the victim and the bully, and they have to figure out a way. Tell that. Now the power of having a friend is a little different because you can talk to a friend or a family member or a brother or whatever, and that's a little different because the brother will, you know, support you, do stuff, and have, you know, actually have it mean something.
If you just say something, even if you don't know who they are, you just speak up. Kids are like, "What just happened?" and they stop. This is really small, but last year this kid was trying to take his friend's water bottle, and she was like, "I need that. I need to go to class. I need that for practice." I was like, "Kid, give her back her water bottle." Something so small. He was like, "Whoa," gave it back to her, and he left her alone. I mean, that was something really small. I've just noticed that if you stand up for what you believe in, and if you just do a really small thing, if you see some people in the hallway like pushing each other around and it doesn't look like they're playing, if you be like, "What are you doing?" then they stop.
I always felt like it was my, like, kind of job to help that one kid who didn't really have, like, any true friends or people that necessarily cared about them, or I always tried to help them.
Well, since I've been bullied, I've been learning to get stronger for my emotions and just learn to deal with it. And sometimes, like, don't let my fury get to me and, like, engage into the fight.
Me being like a victim of being bullying, it did affect me because, like, I don't know, I just like felt bad about myself, and just like, in the beginning I cared about it, but like now I like walk through school, and if any of that like happens, I'm just like, you know, just have to ignore it and like act like I don't like care about it and everything. But like, you know, it's like a big thing for me, and like, well, it affects my daily life because like at school, I have like a decent amount of friends. I'm not like big or like popular or anything. So like, it just like, sometimes it's just like hard to just like walk through school knowing that this will happen at any moment, knowing that there's like a lot of people talking behind your back and everything.
Well, I mean, in general, because I haven't been a victim, I have been a victim of bullying. I think that when you know how it feels, you don't want anyone to feel that. So at least I try to, whenever I see someone, you know, be mean to someone else, I really do try to like stick up. I mean, I've wrote multiple letters to the school principal about, you know, oh, this person said something to this person and I thought that was really mean. Or, you know, 9/11, there was a bunch of kids making 9/11 jokes on 9/11, and I thought that was incredibly insensitive, so I wrote a letter to the principal. And I mean, if you ask my parents, they'll tell you I've done that many times, starting from first grade.
How do you think bullying has kind of changed and evolved in like the past 10 years?
Cyberbullying has just taken off. I just feel like with social media being so prevalent in the youth of today, I just feel like back in the day I also feel like back in the day it was more physical bullying, and now it's become more like social and emotional cyberbullying. Just like I feel like it's become more, I feel like cyberbullying can be more discreet.
Just technology has turned bullying in another direction because you've got access to each other, or kids have access, and everybody does now with cell phones, has access to each other 24/7. You know, when I was a kid growing up, if there was bullying going on, like when school was over, you went home, you were separate. You didn't have to deal with any of it. Now kids are locked in, dialed in 24/7, they can't get away from it. Most bullying nowadays is through either text or social media of some kind. I have not looked at recent research, but it would not surprise me if it was more than 80% was cyberbullying of some kind, just because it's easy, you know, and a lot of times it's misunderstood too. Like someone is just joking around or saying something they don't realize is hurtful, but you can't see that person's face to know how they took it, and so you keep going and you keep doing it. And then when it is purposeful, it can just be relentless through technology. And it's, like I said before, it's 24/7. It can just be texting nonstop or through Snapchat or anything. Instagram is just, you know, people can make fake Instagram accounts and mess with people. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff that goes on that it's stuff that I never had to deal with as a kid, and I can't imagine having to deal with that 24/7 and just how stressful that would be.
I did my research paper on social media, and social media is also a #1 cause for cyberbullying. That was one of my arguments in it too. So social media is also like bad for bullying too.
Mostly on like Instagram, like a lot of people have it now, and especially because more people are starting to download it. It's because they make their account private, but then like they accept their friends' follow requests, but then they bully them, and it's like not even fair.
So I feel like that's more prevalent than like physical bullying or like
Yeah.
or something like that. Oh. But your past school, is there anything that you wish like they could have done to help with the whole process of bullying?
Well, the teachers, like I kept telling the principal, she didn't even care. Like she did nothing about it. And I just wish that she would care and actually realize that people are getting bullied and realize that she needs to stop it.
Did teachers ever like see it happening and intervene?
No, they saw it happen, but they never interrupted it. They just stood there, and then they were like, you can't do that again, but then didn't do anything else.
The problem I have is that with teachers is that teachers they don't do anything, and that's because they don't have a lot of power to change things, because they're not in the social scene. They're not friends with these people. They are teachers. They are above.
Experienced teachers, certainly if they see it, they're great about jumping in right then and there, and just addressing what they're seeing and what's going on. If they're hearing about it, a lot of times they'll certainly talk to the student who's been sort of the target of the bullying in terms of giving them some ideas of how to help. And if they know who is doing the bullying, they will a lot of times address the bullying, what's going on, or seek out Mr. Kim, our assistant principal, to do that as well.
I mean, the school has done a lot. Like, there's been a lot of assemblies about it. There's been a lot of SEL lessons about it. Last year, they made us watch a movie called Cyberbullying also. So I think it's just up to the kids to do it.
Is there anything that you wish you could say to the people who bullied you?
I wish I had the guts to say, like, it's not okay to bully people. You shouldn't be bullying me, and you shouldn't be bullying anybody else. And I wish I actually said that.
Doesn't really matter what I have to say. Not like I can go back and change it. I mean, honestly, look, I was immature. Other people were immature. The problem with school and public school and high school, and not just public school, any school, is that you have a bunch of teachers who some may care, many don't, and you have a lot of immaturity and emotions and a strong lack of reason or critical thinking, all in a very small, confined space. So that's what happens. And then you go out, you know, there's a reason like you don't hear about this in like more professional levels because people, you know, grow up. I mean, because I feel like as you get older, it becomes less and less of a problem. But, you know, the people who are younger people don't have that insight or context to know that it does, you know, eventually get better.
So I guess people that bully me, I would say, that was rude. That was not okay. I hope you learned from your mistake, because you made me feel like, useless. You made me feel like crap, essentially. And you really hurt my feelings. But you know what? I'm better off without you anyway. You clearly weren't a good friend, and I found better people. So no, I'm not happy that you bullied me, but in a sense, I'm happy that I was able to move on and find people that actually made me feel good about myself and that I was able to connect with. And the people I helped, I want to say, I hope you're doing okay now. I hope that you've learned that from what I did, that I stood up for you, that you can do that for yourself, and that there is always someone you can find to help you out. If someone's bothering you and they keep doing it, if you can talk to someone about it, there is help for you, and it's not the end of the world. You can get help, and you don't have to suffer. You don't have to live like this for the rest of your life. So stand up for yourself, find someone to help you, and just be happy with who you are, because if someone's being a bully, you can do something about it. You don't have to deal with it.
So people I've helped, I guess I'd probably just be like, stay strong, stick up for yourself. Don't let them hurt you, because you have that power to be like, no, that doesn't affect me. What you just said can't get through me, because I'm confident in myself and I'm strong in myself, and I know that whatever you say doesn't change who I am.
Yeah, maybe like if other people mostly in my grade, if other people in my grade heard other people's experiences of being bullied, then they would understand that it's not right.
I know that I am only 13 years old in 7th grade. Don't really have much reason to listen to me, but if you are being bullied, don't let it get to you. And I know that it's a lot harder than it sounds to not let it get to you, from a small experience of mine that I don't think is that small, but if you are able to walk away from it, if you can stop all the sadness and all the pain, if you could walk away from that, or even if you can think about it, even if you want to walk away, even if you could, as the smallest bit of resistance, and just tell an adult, even if you don't think it would do that much, if you could walk away and acknowledge the fact that they are no better than me. They strive off of other people's pain, and if you could walk away from being hated by everyone that you thought was your friend, you are more valuable of a person than anyone combined could be. Being different, starting new trends, and that is probably my mom. Hey Mom, I'm in the middle of an interview. I don't know, but I can, I'll text you, and I can walk home if you need me to. I'll call you, and if you're gonna pick me up, I'll call you. This is on film, kind of. So, hello. This should be in the bloopers or something like that. It'd be kind of funny if there is time for bloopers. Okay, bye, Mom. I'll call you when I need you to pick me up. Bye. Please don't call again. Well, that was fun.